Details you missed in Columbo. Peter Falk was born Peter Michael Falk on September 16, 1927, in New York City and raised in Ossining, New York. His father owned a clothing and dry goods store, while his mother worked as an accountant and buyer. Falk's early life was marked by a significant event when, at the age of 3, he underwent surgery to remove a malignant tumor, resulting in the loss of his right eye. He wore a glass eye for most of his life, a detail that would later become part of his iconic image as an actor. Despite this early setback, Falk displayed resilience and determination, characteristics that would define both his personal and professional life. Falk attended Ossining High School, where he was known for his wit and intelligence. After graduating, he served in the Merchant Marine, but his career in shipping was short-lived. He then pursued higher education, earning a bachelor's degree in political science from the New School in New York and later a master's degree in public administration from Syracuse University. Initially, Falk had no plans to become an actor. In fact, he began his career in government, working as an efficiency expert for the Connecticut State Budget Bureau. However, his passion for acting was ignited when he joined a community theater in Hartford, Connecticut, sparking a dramatic career change. Peter Falk's entry into the world of acting came relatively late, and it wasn't without challenges. In his early 30s, he decided to take acting seriously, studying under the legendary teacher Eva Le Gallienne at the White Barn Theater. He then moved to New York, where he performed in off-Broadway productions and made a name for himself in the theater world. His rugged looks, combined with his unique acting style, earned him critical acclaim on stage. However, it was his transition to television and film that truly launched him into stardom. Falk's first major break in Hollywood came when he landed a supporting role in the 1960 gangster film Murder, Inc., which earned him his first Academy Award nomination for Best Supporting Actor. His role as a mobster showcased his ability to blend menace with a quirky charm, a combination that would become a hallmark of his performances. He followed this with another Oscar nomination for Pocketful of Miracles, 1961, where he played a gangster's right-hand man. Despite these early successes in film, Falk's true legacy was cemented on television. Peter Falk became a household name through his portrayal of the rumpled, disheveled Detective Lieutenant Columbo in the long-running TV series Columbo. The character debuted in 1968 in a made-for-TV movie, Prescription, Murder, and quickly captured the public's imagination. Falk's Columbo was unlike any other TV detective at the time. He was shabbily dressed in a wrinkled trench coat, drove a beat-up Peugeot, and always appeared to be distracted or slightly confused. Yet beneath this unassuming exterior lay a razor-sharp mind that was always several steps ahead of the criminals he was investigating. Falk's portrayal of Columbo was marked by his impeccable timing, subtle humor, and masterful use of body language. The character's signature move, turning back at the last moment to ask, "Just one more thing," became a beloved television trope. Falk won 4 Primetime Emmy Awards for Outstanding Lead Actor in a Drama Series for his work as Columbo, a testament to his skill in creating one of the most enduring and beloved characters in television history. Over the course of 69 episodes, spanning from 1971 to 2003, Peter Falk made Columbo an iconic figure in detective fiction, a character who remains influential to this day. Columbo, the beloved crime drama series starring Peter Falk as the titular character, has long been praised for its intricate mysteries, engaging writing, and, of course, Falk's iconic portrayal of the unassuming yet brilliant detective. However, there are numerous small details in Columbo that many fans may have missed, each adding layers of complexity to the show and Falk's performance. These details range from subtle quirks in Columbo's behavior to clever narrative choices that enhance the overall viewing experience. One of the most notable aspects of Columbo's character is his perpetually disheveled appearance. His wrinkled raincoat, messy hair, and generally unkempt look were not just a reflection of his laid-back attitude but also a carefully designed tool to deceive the criminals he pursued. Columbo's appearance often made him seem less competent than he actually was, lulling suspects into a false sense of security. What many viewers may not realize is that Peter Falk personally chose many of Columbo's wardrobe pieces, including the famous raincoat, which became synonymous with the character. Falk wanted Columbo to seem like an everyday man, someone who criminals would underestimate, and his rumpled attire played a significant role in achieving that. Additionally, Falk's decision to wear the same shabby clothes across episodes created a sense of continuity and timelessness in the show. Columbo could exist in any era, and his wardrobe added to that sense of being out of sync with the polished world of the rich and powerful people he often investigated. It also mirrored his work ethic. Columbo was so focused on solving the case that he didn't care about his appearance, further endearing him to viewers who valued his brilliance over superficial qualities. Columbo's beat-up car, a 1959 Peugeot 403 convertible, is another quirky detail of the series that many fans love but might not fully appreciate for its symbolic value. The car was rare even at the time of the show's production, and its worn-out condition reflected Columbo's personality: unpretentious, functional, and unglamorous. Unlike the flashy vehicles driven by the wealthy suspects he pursued, Columbo's old Peugeot symbolized his humble nature and contrasted with the affluent world of his adversaries. In fact, the car became so iconic that it was practically a character of its own in the series, often breaking down at inopportune moments, adding comedic relief to tense situations. Peter Falk reportedly had a personal attachment to the car, and it became one of the most enduring symbols of the series. It wasn't chosen for its rarity but rather because it looked so unusual, just like Columbo himself. It stood out, much like how Columbo's investigative style was different from that of more conventional detectives. In many ways, the Peugeot was a metaphor for Columbo's approach to solving crimes, worn on the outside, but surprisingly reliable when it counted. Columbo's signature move, asking just one more thing before leaving a conversation, is a hallmark of his investigative strategy, but there's much more to this seemingly simple tactic. The phrase is not just a quirky habit, it is a psychological tool that allows Columbo to catch his suspects off guard. After a long conversation in which the suspect thinks they've outsmarted him, Columbo turns back with a casual question that often seems trivial but is crucial to solving the case. By posing the question as an afterthought, Columbo lowers his suspects' defenses, often eliciting a telling response that they might not have given otherwise. This approach also exemplifies Columbo's skill at playing the role of the bumbling detective. He often pretends to forget important details or act confused, all the while gathering critical information that he later uses to trap the culprit. The one more thing moment became so iconic that fans began to anticipate it in every episode, and it solidified Columbo's reputation as a detective who always had the upper hand, even when he seemed to be at a disadvantage. Columbo's beloved basset hound, aptly named Dog, is another small detail that many viewers may overlook in terms of its significance. The dog is often seen lounging in the back of Columbo's car or accompanying him on various investigations, providing both comic relief and a glimpse into Columbo's personal life. While the detective rarely talks about his family, his interactions with Dog reveal a softer, more human side of him. Dog's presence serves to make Columbo even more relatable to viewers, showing that despite his brilliance, he enjoys the simple companionship of his pet. Interestingly, Peter Falk was not initially keen on the idea of Columbo having a dog, but he grew to love the addition. Dog became a way to further humanize Columbo, making him not just a detective but a person with his own life and quirks. The inclusion of Dog also added a layer of normalcy to Columbo's otherwise eccentric character, emphasizing that even the most unconventional detectives enjoy the ordinary pleasures of life. Columbo is a show that often reveals the murderer right at the start of the episode, flipping the traditional whodunit formula. However, the series still relies heavily on subtle clues and visual storytelling to engage the audience. Many episodes are filled with tiny, seemingly inconsequential details that become crucial to solving the case. For example, a character's watch may be fastened a particular way, or a seemingly unimportant object in the background may become a key piece of evidence later on. Viewers who pay close attention are often rewarded when they pick up on these subtle hints before Columbo makes his grand revelation. Peter Falk's meticulous attention to detail in his portrayal of Columbo extended to how these clues were presented. Falk would sometimes suggest changes in a scene to make the clues more visible to the audience without making them too obvious to the characters. His input in these small details added layers of depth to the series, making each episode a rich experience for those who enjoy playing detective alongside Columbo. Columbo is known for its inverted mystery format, where the audience knows from the beginning who the murderer is, and the tension comes from watching Columbo figure it out. This structure allows for a different kind of storytelling, where the focus is not on the question of who committed the crime but on how Columbo will catch the culprit. Many fans may take this format for granted, but it was revolutionary for its time. In traditional detective stories, the suspense comes from uncovering the identity of the killer, but Columbo flipped this on its head, creating a new kind of tension by showing the audience the crime and then watching Columbo work his way toward the solution. This approach allowed for more character-driven stories, as the series often focused on the psychological battle between Columbo and the suspect. The real drama lay in watching the increasingly desperate attempts of the murderer to cover their tracks, only to be outwitted by the unassuming detective. It also highlighted Columbo's intellectual prowess, as viewers could see exactly how he pieced together seemingly unrelated details to trap the murderer in their own web of lies. Perhaps the most significant detail that many viewers may have missed in Columbo is the detective's ability to manipulate people's perceptions of him. From the very first episode, Columbo is consistently underestimated by suspects, who mistake his humble demeanor, incessant questioning, and lack of polish for incompetence. This was, of course, an intentional strategy, one that Peter Falk perfected over the years. The brilliance of Columbo lies in his ability to disarm people, to make them believe that they are smarter than him, all while gathering the information he needs to solve the case. Columbo's brilliance is most evident in his interactions with the suspects, who often believe they are intellectually superior. As they grow more confident in their deception, Columbo's feigned ignorance allows him to close in on the truth. Falk's nuanced performance made this aspect of the character shine, showing Columbo as a master of psychology who used his unassuming nature to his advantage in every case. Although Columbo defined Falk's career, he was much more than just a TV detective. Falk also had a prolific film career, appearing in more than 100 films. His range as an actor was vast, moving effortlessly between drama and comedy, often portraying gruff, working-class characters with a heart of gold. One of his most famous film roles was in The In-Laws, 1979, a comedy where he played an eccentric CIA operative opposite Alan Arkin. The film became a cult classic, and Falk's comedic timing was praised as pitch perfect. Another memorable film role came in A Woman Under the Influence, 1974, directed by his close friend John Cassavetes. Falk played the husband of a woman, played by Gena Rowlands, suffering from a mental breakdown. The film was an intense exploration of family dynamics and mental health, showcasing Falk's ability to handle deeply emotional and complex material. His collaborations with Cassavetes, which also included films like Husbands, 1970, and Mikey and Nicky, 1976, were critically acclaimed and demonstrated his dedication to more experimental, auteur-driven cinema. In later years, Falk appeared in family-friendly fare like The Princess Bride, 1987, where he played the grandfather narrating the story. This role introduced him to a new generation of fans and added another layer to his already multifaceted career. Whether playing a tough guy, a loving grandfather, or a quirky detective, Falk brought authenticity and charm to every role. Behind the scenes, Peter Falk was known for his warmth, humor, and generosity. He was married twice, first to Alice Mayo, with whom he had 2 adopted daughters, and later to actress Shira Danesa, who appeared in several episodes of Columbo. Falk's off-screen persona was much like Columbo, humble, down-to-earth, and never one to take himself too seriously. Falk's later years were marked by health struggles, including a battle with Alzheimer's disease. In 2009, his family revealed that the actor had been suffering from dementia, and he passed away on June 23, 2011, at the age of 83. His death marked the end of an era, but his legacy endures through the countless fans who continue to admire his work.